Hey guys, how's it going? So Bhavesh this side again, and in this video we are going to talk about how you can get your first marketing agency client, right? So you are ready, you are doing the outreach, and you want your first client, right? So what do you have to do? And in that reference, I'm literally going to also cover the part where how I started, how I got my first client, and how you can do, right? And I'll keep this video as smooth, as simple as possible for you guys to understand the framework to get your first marketing agency client, right? So guys, like if I specifically talk about myself, so I think it started like when the first COVID wave hit, during the time of lockdown, right, quarantine. Like I had nothing to do, so I found out like one video on YouTube about SMMA. My interest peaked, right, and I was curious to know more about it, so I watched a couple of videos. Wherever I used to go, I just used to play videos of SMMA, starting your agency, getting a first client, and I used to listen and watch those videos on loop, right? I started doing that, and one day I finally thought, like, let's do this, let's take action. So it was around 11 a.m. at night, right? I kind of closed one of my doors, like, I went to the other door, right? Kind of all empty. So I closed it, and I had phone in my hand, right? And I used an app called Second Line, right? To start doing the cold calling, right? So I closed the door, and then I started to get very nervous. I was all sweaty, right? Because it was my first cold call in my life, right? So I went to Google, I searched for roofing companies, and I think I started with Texas. So I searched for companies in Texas, dialed the number, and finally I hit that, and it started calling, right? So I called, and I was very nervous. My heartbeats were like running like crazy. And finally, yeah, guys, the first call was kind of like, because I was nervous, like I wasn't that much confident. That's why, like, the first, let's say, first couple of weeks, I was very nervous, right? In terms of like cold calling, and I wasn't able to get a hold of these people, because like I wasn't saying them, I wasn't like handling their objection, and they're just leaving like hanging up on me, simple as that, right? So they were like literally hanging up on me. No, I'm not interested. Even if they're saying no, I'm not interested, I'm not handling that objection, because I never knew how to handle the objection at that point. So when then what happened is, like, I started videos about a cold calling, not SMMA, right? I started videos about like Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort, how to make a cold call, how to handle objections. And from that, I started learning things about cold calling, right? I started to create my own scripts, own custom scripts, and at one point it's all started working for me. So this was one of the script which I've created. So you can literally like see here, like, I have written down so many notes here, which at that point I used to make. So this was one script, and these were the questions which you can also ask on the cold call. This is again another script, and you can literally see my notes here. So it was like all possible just by hard work, right? So like, you can literally see all the scripts here in the group if you're a part of it, right? If not, you can just join the group from the link in the description, right? So guys, this was that, like how it started initially, right? So I started doing cold calling. So it's like, after quite around 4 to 5 months of cold calling, finally, I came across a guy. My first client, his name was Joe. He owned a roofing company in Ohio, Columbus. I called him. We had a good conversation, and for almost around half an hour, we spoke over the call. Like, he was asking me like how everything works, how do you generate leads, how's the quality, how many appointments, all the basic stuff which every prospect asks. So I tried answering all his questions, and then he said like, okay, let's schedule a Zoom call. And hopefully, like, we schedule a Zoom call. I think it was on a weekend, like it was Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure. So I got on a call with him, and guys, guess what? He paid $850, and that was my first client. And the feeling was amazing. And that, I think I get paid on PayPal. At that point I wasn't using Stripe, so I got the payment on PayPal. I raised the invoice on PayPal, and he paid it. So guys, that feeling, the getting of feeling of getting the first client was amazingly insane. And when that money came on my PayPal account, I showed it to my parents because I was excited, right? Like, if it's even possible to make money online, right? So I showed them. They were kind of also happy. And then, yeah, guys, and this is where it all started, to be honest, right? So this is how I got my first client. After that, what happened? After that, I still continued cold calling. And but what happened is, like, I'm not getting at that point I wasn't getting that much traction because of the competition, because so many people are making cold calls at that time to roofing owners. So that's why I wasn't getting good responses. Most of them are like not interested. They were hanging up on me. They were like abusing me. And another objection I used to face a lot while cold calling was like, where are you speaking from? So I see, guys, if you're in the business, you have to be honest. So I used to say, like, I'm speaking from India. So these guys used to abuse and hung up on me, right? Because they don't like India, because they think like only scammers calls them from India, right? So we have to remove this acquisition which we have on India, by providing them good services, right? That's also one of my vision for this business which I'm running, to maintain good relationship, do the business with integrity, and remove this false acquisition which we have from over the years of like Indian are scammers. Why we are, yeah, of course, like, we have scammers. There are people who don't have uh, like anything to do, they just scam people. So I have to remove this false acquisition also, right? So after that, what happened is, like, I got the first line from cold calling. I continued cold calling, but I wasn't seeing much success. And after that, after like quite 2 or 3 months after getting my first line, I stopped doing the cold calls, right? And I'm not saying like I haven't gotten the second client. I did gotten a few clients from cold calling too after my first line, but it was all free trial clients. uh, we were literally running free ads for them, and but they never converted into an actual client, right? So the only thing I can say is, like, my first client, that's how I got my first client, through cold call, right? Now, if we come back to the topic of the video, like how to get your first client. So guys, like there's no magic way. You have to understand this, right? There's no magic way. If you're good at cold calling, go for it. If you're good at talking people, go for cold calling, and you'll be like surprised to see, like, yeah, you are closing more appointments, more clients. So if you're good at cold calling, do that. If you're good at cold messaging, do that. If you're good at, let's say, creating Loom videos and sending that, do that. If you're good at cold emailing, do that. Whatsoever you're good at, do that. If you're not good at anything, just start out with like easy outreach method, which is, let's say, cold messaging. Start out with that. And guys, like there's like always a possibility, like you'll see success if you don't give up. Simple as that. So to see success, you just have to don't give up and keep moving forward, right? So if I talk about like some of my preferences, like if I were you, what I would would have done if I were you, right? So, like, first of all, I understood the basics, the frameworks of like starting the agency, right? I used to go through that checklist which I've created in the last couple of videos, like selecting a niche, optimizing my profiles before doing the outreach, and yeah, guys, having a mindset. And and I would have done like outreach all day to get my first client, just to get that first client all day. Because of course I'm in college, but still I would have get time for this, for doing the outreach. And I know people saying like, I don't get time for outreach. Guys, you have to, even if you don't have time to outreach, you have to make time for that. If you're not able to make time for outreach, how can you able to make time for this business which you are trying to get into, right? So that's my point here. You have to do the outreach and get your first client, right? If I name couple of quick outreaches, prospecting strategies for you, so first would be cold messaging on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter is also like getting popular these days, so you can also try that. Then we have cold emailing. You can send out Loom videos to people, personalized outreach. Then we have cold calling, guys. Only these outreaches are available as of now. So just follow these outreaches and you'll be getting your first client. Just don't try to reinvent the wheel, just follow what's working for everyone. If you try to reinvent the wheel, the possibility of creating something more valuable is just 10%, and the possibility of failing by reinventing the wheel is 90%. So make sure you invest your time wisely and get a first client. So I think, guys, that's pretty much it. Again, this is like one of my groups, like 10K a month SMMA. So we have like around 540 members, and every day, like every day, we have so many members are like posting stuff here. Everyone is like-minded here, and they all are running agencies. So if you want to join, you can just join this group from the link in the description. And I also post my wins here, like the day before yesterday we secured a first $2,500 client, first $2,500 client for the agency for a 3-month contract, right? And yesterday only we closed another $1,500 client. So every day I post my events in this group. So like if you want some motivation, some inspiration, just join this group, guys. And if you ask any question in the group, I'll be happy to answer those, because the thing is, like, I have also been like busy, so that's why like I'm not able to reply these. But hopefully in the near future, when I'll get time, I will be like more than happy to answer all of these questions. So join this group, guys, and hopefully I'll be back with more exciting and amazing content for you guys. Okay, guys, Bhavesh this side. All the best. Drop a feedback, drop some topics you want the videos to be created on. And yeah, guys, talk soon. Have a good day.